after-work trip headed to our newest project.
In the free mower.
That went way easier than I...
Hood flew open. We're good. Welcome back to the channel. I am sitting on a new to us, free Craftsman lawn tractor that our friend from work gave us. It came with their house they bought about 7 years ago, and they physically had not touched it since 2017, so about 4 years. It had been sitting in their garage untouched. The tires were flat, and the state of the rest of it was pretty much unknown, but it was put away in running order, so theoretically it should run. Do we really need another lawnmower right now? No. But we don't have a lawnmower for our new property, which we will eventually need, and this was free, so I figured strike while the iron's hot. So I'm just gonna go through some preliminary checks, see if we can get this bad boy running. The LTS 2000. A real work of engineering here. You can tell this tractor is made way more cheaply than they used to be, just by all the stamped steel and how lightweight it is. We were able to load this so easily by hand onto my trailer. Good news is all the tires actually hold air after they were pumped up. The heart of the beast is a 19.5 horsepower Briggs. Probably one of the most ubiquitous engines out there these days. Well, it's a little bit low in oil, but it has oil. This will really tell you what kind of shape it's in. Air filter. Well, no squirrel's nest. That's a good start. Oh, that's actually not that bad at all. This looks pretty darn clean. That's the pre-filter. Oh, that could be worse. Just give those a little spray off with the air gun. They should be all right. Compression's definitely good. Can barely turn the thing. I'm almost positive this battery is going to be totally shot, but we'll give it a shot anyway. See what we got. An astonishing 1.82 volts. I don't think there's any coming back from that, but we'll give it a charge and see what happens. Okay, I got the battery that came with this on the slow charger. Pretty sure it's shot, but I figured I'd give it a try at reviving it. In the meantime, I slapped the battery from our zero turn, a known good battery, in here, so we'll at least be able to crank it over. I'm just gonna do some other minor things, top the oil off, clean the air filters out, check the spark plug, and we'll see if it'll fire up. The old Champion RC12YC. This plug is like in every single small gas engine there ever was. A little bit carboned up, but we're gonna give it a shot. I don't have any extras right now, so I'd have to go get it when I get the battery. This thing's shot. This fuel filter looks prehistoric, but again, I don't have another one on hand, so hopefully it'll work. Our friends did tell us they just recently put some gas in there, so that should be relatively fresh. Let's try to start it up. Promising. Sounds like it's not getting any fuel. So I'm gonna look into this a little more. This is actually from a hospital. It's a surgical tool. But I found it's a great fuel hose pincher. Check my shut-off solenoid here. I didn't hear it when I was clicking the key, so maybe this is the culprit. This plunger is totally stuck. That's from sitting with years of ethanol gas in it, unfortunately. Break out the handy carb cleaner. That seems more like it. Now let's try it. I'm gonna turn the key switch. There you go. Much better. Well, the fact that that was gummed up isn't a good sign. I'm probably gonna have to clean the rest of that carburetor anyway. But before I do that, I did decide I'm gonna drain this tank even though the gas is relatively fresh. It's 87 octane and it's got ethanol in it. So I'm gonna drain this out and fill it with some 90 octane ethanol free, which is like gold these days. There's like almost $4 a gallon for this stuff. But I feel like that'll help it fire a little bit easier, being the higher octane and without ethanol. So once I do that, we're gonna give it another shot. Take two. Holy hell. This thing sounds like a runaway diesel. Oh my gosh. The gas really helped. This thing is scary. Holy hell. If you never heard the term runaway diesel, please search that on YouTube because this sounds exactly like it. It is unbelievably loud. It sounds like it has a horrible exhaust leak right at the exhaust manifold and it will not idle down at all. I don't know if it's burning off some old fuel or something, but holy crap, this thing is running. Okay, I'm almost certain the carburetor is just completely clogged up with gunk, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean it and see what that does to this thing's running. Well, I got the carb off in one piece. The intake decided it wanted to come with it. I only broke 1 out of 4 bolts holding the shroud on, of course the one nearest to the exhaust manifold where it gets real hot. But just when I thought I was going to escape this project with nothing more but a carb clean, maybe a new spark plug and battery, I found this. Hidden under the shroud, a hungry mouse at one point came along and had a nice little snack on our spark plug wire. What's a real shame about this is it doesn't look like it's detachable from the coil. I think I'm going to have to get a whole dang new coil just because of this stupid mouse. As always, no project ever goes exactly according to plan. These cooling fins are all packed with grass too, so it'll be just a good chance to clean these out as well. So I just threw some tape around that exposed wire for now, and I'm just gonna put everything back together for the time being. Let's see if a clean carb did anything for us. That is running so much better. Actually, the idle's down. I'm impressed. Just a miss every now and then. That might be the ignition coil starting to crap out. Not bad. Well, it made it out. This is something that I noticed when I got it, but I didn't think it was gonna make that big of a deal, and it's how badly towed out these front wheels are. But it is darn near impossible to steer this thing. It just pushes the whole front end. There's one roughly straight. Look at the other wheel. It's a really, really bad tow out. But I can't even really tell if they hit something or what, because nothing actually looks bent down here. And these tie rods are not adjustable. So I'm not sure what's going on. What's up, chickens? Well, upon further inspection, I think I found the issue. If you look at the cross section of that sheet metal bracket where the tie rod bolts to, it's pretty straight here on the right wheel. But you come over to the left and you can clearly see that it is a little bit wonky. And it looks like about 3/16 inch steel. I don't know if it's going to be very easy to bend that back. I bolted the tie rod and straightened the wheels out, and it's literally over an inch where this bracket should be. Okay, it's been a couple weeks. I had this crazy newfangled idea to try to straighten this out or put some plate on here, but when I went online and looked at the parts for this, a new one was like $10. So I just went ahead and bought a new one. I'm gonna go ahead and install it. The hardest part of changing this thing out was actually this stupid rubber cap. It would not pull over the spring clip that holds the wheel on the axle. And of course, when putting things back together, I could not get the thing back on. Well, it's on, but these things are still really towed out. Either something else is wrong that I'm not seeing, or this is just part of the design. It's maybe to make them turn sharper or something. Either way, I can't imagine that it's going to handle very well. Well, it still drives like absolute garbage. Still way too towed out, but I'm done messing with it right now, so I'm just gonna move on to fixing the deck and getting this at least in somewhat operating condition. Then I'll have to come back at some point and try to bend something or extend something to make this tow better. Here's the deck for this guy, pretty caked in old grass. Belt's a little bit cracked up, should probably get replaced once it breaks. And the blades are fairly dinged up, but I would say they're salvageable. I'm gonna try to sharpen them up a little bit. Underside is kind of gross too, to clean that all off. Good as new. Put a little dab of anise on these bolts so that they don't lock up in the future. We broke this front deck linkage getting the thing off the trailer, so that's great. That cost me about 20 bucks for a new one of those. And just when I think everything is going as planned and this project's almost done, see this deck lift arm here? That's missing on the other side. And it's bolted up here, so I'm almost sure it wasn't on the tractor when we got it, because we definitely didn't unbolt that. I am about tired of waiting on parts in the mail for this thing, so I think I'm just going to make this out of steel and template it off this existing one. Took some drilling, but finally have our new lift arm. Sweet. It works. Well, it seems to mill all right. Deck goes up and down, blade spin. Can't really ask for much more than that. It's still really hard to steer, but that's going to be a project for another day. I'm going to call this good. I'm going to call this a running mower. Probably have less than $100 into it, which isn't bad. Can't really complain about that. And you know, for a backup mower here on the farm and for our main mower at the new place, this should do. Thanks for following along in another project. I hope you got something out of this video. Leave any comments or questions below on what I screwed up during this project. And feel free to give us a follow on here and the socials for more similar content in the future. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.